Utah's rock station, K-Bear 101. It's Mick and Allen. And it's time to talk Freak Show Sports with DP. DP live in Washington, D.C., bringing you all the sports that is sports right here on the Freak Show. DP, how you doing, sir?
You know, I'm good. I have a mouthful of braces. And,
you what?
And stitches. So but I'm good.
You have a mouthful of braces and stitches?
I got braces. I have 12 stitches in my mouth. I have braces. They did some corrective work. You know, at my advanced age, I am now the proud possessor of brand new braces.
How do you improve on perfection?
I'll let you know when I get there, and you can tell me all about it.
Yeah, we just thought you liked your teeth like that.
Yeah, you know, mangled, different directions. You know, kind of. If teeth could be cross-eyed, that's what mine were. We
could have had Richard Retainer hook you up years ago,
dude.
Oh yeah, it's a great hookup, and now it's funny I can actually hear myself talk. It's that slight lisp that happens, and then you're afraid you're going to cut your mouth. So I'm learning to work. I'm learning to work with metal inside my jaw.
Hey, I want
That's awesome.
I want to talk about Jimmer.
Jimmer?
He was released from the Kings,
yeah,
and he's free to explore possibilities.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a possibility for Jimmer?
Yeah. Do you think it's Israel or Spain?
I think Salt Lake City.
What?
I think Salt Lake City would be ideal.
You know, I'll tell you what. When I first thought that too, I was like, oh my gosh, you'd sell jerseys, you'd sell. Whenever he is at the Energy Solutions Arena playing the Jazz, he is one of the few people that gets booed.
Why does he get booed?
It's a very pro U of U crowd, anti BYU. There was a little kid. Like couldn't have been a year, maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half old, wearing a BYU sweatshirt. They put him on the super screen. People booed the little kid.
No, they did.
Yeah,
not.
I promise you.
Well, but they didn't boo Hoffa when he came, or Araujo when he played there with Utah.
No, there's some about Jimmer. I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, look, you know, that kind of success, he's got a little bit of the Tebow factor thing. People think would be a little bit of the overexposure. Anything that people feel like is forced on them, they don't want to participate in. But for me, from a basketball standpoint, it's not like Utah can't use a shooter.
Yeah,
boy, you know. And my thing is that if you're at the bottom looking up, you can't really say that you have all the answers.
I watched.
True.
I watched on sports last night, Alan, and you being at the games, you would know more than I. But they were showing highlights of the game, and I saw a lot of green. I think if Jimmer was on the team, a lot of Utah Valley people would come up and make the green disappear.
Do you guys, and that's a great transition, but I was going to ask you, do you really want Utah Valley folks coming to your games now? Did you see the exhibition they put on last night?
Yeah, dude, did you see that?
That jumped off my page. And to see that there are two things that happened. One, that Utah Valley is in first place in the WAC, which blows my mind. And then they take on New Mexico, who is the top dog. They beat them, and then a brawl breaks out on the floor. What is going on in Utah? I mean, I leave for a little bit. I mean, I know I've brought a little thug factor to Utah. But,
well, you think, you know, that New Mexico people would be a little tougher, but those Orem kids.
They're tough. They're bad. They are some bad.
You know, when you think of two of the toughest places probably in this country, I mean, some people say Detroit, Oakland. Yeah, I say Orem. Yeah, Orem and New Mexico come to mind.
New Mexico State are now trying to figure out what in the world.
Yeah.
Look, it blew me away. If your listeners haven't seen the video, go to ESPN and look at the video of the the WAC showdown between New Mexico State and Utah Valley. And Utah Valley wins it and goes in first place. They're 11-3 in conference. You know, big doings.
And the fans, man.
Orem goes crazy. Who knew?
That's crazy.
Here's the audio.
This is awful. The ending between the New Mexico State-Utah Valley game, a New Mexico State player throwing the ball at a Utah Valley player, and then everything went nuts. People are rushing the court. I mean, fans are throwing it. Players are throwing it. Utah Valley had won the game in overtime. These are the top two teams in the WAC, but that's, you just don't want to see that. And,
Wait a second. Did you see the video of this, DP?
Yeah, I mean, this is the bravery of people in numbers.
Yeah.
Utah Valley.
Look, 'cause none of those people would approach those players on a 1-to-1. But hey, when their back's turned and they're preoccupied, everybody's a man. That's some amazing stuff if you haven't seen it.
Utah Valley with a record of 11-3. New Mexico State goes to 10-4. It is a great conference right now.
It really is.
Some cool stuff going on there.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah. So if that's going to bring that may fit more with the NBA version of what fans should be. So yeah, bring Jimmer in. Let's have Utah Valley join in.
I would love to see those people up at the Jazz games.
Oh, good heavens! That would be that would be entertainment at a top level.
Getting serious for a second, I would love to see Jimmer play for the Jazz. I think that I don't know though. Would it disrupt the players that are there now?
Listen, I know that you guys have to be true to the market, and I know that you guys want what's best for the Utah Jazz. And there's a wonderful story that there's growth, and the players that exist now. Hayward's starting to excel. Burke is at its factor. Favors and company. But you can use more money, more butts in the seats. See, an empty seat has never bought popcorn or jersey or soda or otherwise. See, an empty seat serves you no purpose.
Yep.
What are you talking about? They're working on that.
The idea of this thing should work.
They're working on that. Greg Miller's going to be on Undercover Boss tonight.
That was on my list of stuff to talk to you about. I saw the preview, and it took me about 8 minutes to get off the floor from laughing. Listen. We've been in that building. Let me just say, how can I say this nicely?
Be careful.
Yeah. There's no way that Greg Miller or anybody vaguely resembling Greg Miller in a bad wig could pull off that anywhere in the state of Utah, let alone in Energy Solutions Arena.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this, though. And this was, I'm trying to think exactly when they filmed. Probably second month of the season. Probably in December is when they filmed this. So they do, there's the dunk team that comes out and does dunks during one of the timeouts. And they're really good, and they hit the tramps, and they do the whole thing. And then all of a sudden they had this guy that was not usually there, but he was coming out to dunk with the dunk team and a camera crew and the whole thing. And there were whispers of what it might be, and nobody really knew, and they were having people sign waivers, and if we use your likeness and da-da-da. And I was like, what is this going on? And somebody said that that's who they thought it was, but I'm going to tell you, I stood right next to him, and I would have had no idea that it was him.
Did you notice how fake the beard looked?
Yes, and you knew that it wasn't, but I couldn't have told you who it was.
Okay.
They did.
You could say that it was somebody being weird.
Yes. I could tell it was a disguise of some sort, but if you were to ask me who it was and nobody else had whispered to me, I would have had no idea. Okay. It was really good.
TV show in Utah, I might believe you. that people don't watch cable, but this is a network show that I'm pretty sure the folks in Utah have seen. And look, it brought me great joy. I have two mascots in my life that matter. One is Sir Purr from the Carolina Panthers. The other is the Jazz Bear. And that to me, seeing him in the clip, brought me great joy. And it's one of the things I miss about Utah.
Yeah. All right.
He is a good bear. He actually won Freak of the Week yesterday.
You could retire him with that award.
Yeah, no kidding.
Moving on. Utah Jazz picking up some wins. Jazz will be in action at Cleveland Cavaliers, coming off that win with Phoenix, 109-89. The Cavs also coming off a win at Oklahoma Thunder, 114-104. So the Jazz are fifth place in the Northwest with a record of 21-36. They're in fifth place, and they're vying for a playoff spot.
Are they really?
Well, but think about it. I mean. As other people, and here's the thing, because everybody's talking about it's that same thing. Everybody's talking about it, but the Jazz, for some reason, don't seem to quite grasp it. The Lakers are worse than the Jazz. The teams that are these perennial winners have won more championships. Celtics, Lakers. They're horrible this year. They get it. Let's be horrible. We can build. The Jazz, and you go and it's a fun game to watch and it's a fun team. And in one game they're really on. The next game it's just like, what? Where's the team that was here yesterday?
Alan.
No, I'm just saying they need to be losing more. They keep winning, and they don't quite seem to grasp they need to be losing more.
No, Alan.
What?
They're 12 games out of the playoffs. 12.
I'm just saying, you know how this Jazz team works. They're going to go on like a 10-game winning streak, and they will miss the playoffs by one game and then get no draft pick. You watch.
I've seen it.
I've seen it happen. I'm just telling you.
Come on, dude. You're hurting us.
Because it'll get to that.
Here's the thing, Alan. Here's the thing that's going to save you, right? So the teams that are ahead of you are also trying to win. So they're going to find a way. I mean, Memphis will find a way to win. They're not even in the playoffs if it started today. Minnesota, right at 500, they'll find a way. The Lakers will at least attempt to win more games. They'll at least make an attempt.
No, they won't. Kobe won't come back, and they have a D-League roster. They get it.
So you want them to lose for the idea of a college player who you don't know the identity of, who is such a great player that he's going to help the Utah Jazz become the next Oklahoma City of the NBA.
Yeah. What do you think? You got to have hope, man. You got to have hope.
Listen. The Easter Bunny will be visiting soon. There'll be tons of prizes for you. Okay.
You're right. We should just try to get all those big-name free agents that love to come to Utah.
Well, that's a whole other thing. If your owner shows up on nationwide TV,
see,
maybe the exposure will help bring.
You watch. There. LeBron's going to get out of his contract in Miami.
Actually, speak well of Utah. Who knows?
That's how we have to do it. You got to get them for those 3 years and have their captive.
Get them while they exist.
Yeah.
Get them while they're there. Capture the captive audience. That's how that works.
That's how that works.
Brother, allow yourself to enjoy the wins. Trust me, the Utah Jazz are going to be exactly who the Utah Jazz are going to be, whether they win right now or not. I think it would be better for them to get wins and actually get fans in the stadium.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Man.
True.
And if Jimmer helps that, let it be Jimmer.
NASCAR is in Phoenix. The CNBC 500 will be going down. Baseball in springtime. They're introducing the replay, and they're going to check it out during the spring games, and then on March 30th in San Diego, where the Padres will play the Los Angeles Dodgers, is when they'll begin using replay in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not. I think the idea is to get it right, no matter how.
Yeah, but don't hold your breath.
Well, that's the thing. There's still outs, and it's just like NFL. Some are going to be missed, no matter how how many things you put in play. But yeah, and NASCAR is still spinning the fact that Junior won Daytona.
Yeah,
that's big for Junior. That core group of fans that really have been waiting for this. So it's a great start for NASCAR. Puts them on back at least in the public eye again.
Yep.
They go to Phoenix. Let's see what happens this week. Baseball in the replay.
Would you guys in baseball like to see the electronic eye replace the ump behind the plate, calling balls and strikes?
No,
because then you can't have the Leslie Nielsen umpire behind home plate who dances and moonwalks.
Yeah, and you can't have any dirt kicked on the ump from the coaches. And
yeah, you can't kick it on the computer. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that just gets bizarre.
And then, who's the catcher going to fart on?
And then you only have one guy taking the ball in the nuts instead of two chances.
Oh!
It's like, you hit the computer. No, not a big deal. No, I like the human element to officiating. You just want better ones, that's all.
Yeah, you just want umps, or at least a replay that can show an ump that a pop-up to the warning track is not an infield fly.
or a home run.
Yeah.
They've called as well. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think let's not affect the game too much.
I can't even recall the player, but Mike Morris, I think was the batter. He hit 2 home runs, and dude out in right field caught both of them climbing the fence.
Oh, in the spring ball? Yeah, I saw that.
2 home runs from the same
They could be catch of the year in Grapefruit League.
Yeah.
Well, you can go in Major League Baseball. The network is starting to broadcast the preseason games. As a matter of fact, today I think there's 3 games that are going to be shown live. So, if you're a baseball fanatic, when pitchers and catchers hit camp and then the games actually start to be played, that's everything. Look, at this point, you're the Utah Jazz. Everybody's undefeated. Everybody's got a chance to win the title. Every player is going to be an all-star. Your favorite player is going to have his best season. And then reality hits in a month, and you realize, nope, we still suck. But I'm going to go to the games anyway.
Exactly.
College basketball, today is the final day of February. March begins tomorrow. You know what happens in March. Running Utes, 18-9, will be taking on Colorado with a record of 20-8 tomorrow noon, John Huntsman Center. BYU Cougars, 20-10 at San Diego Toreros. 16-14 tomorrow, 2 p.m. in San Diego.
The Toreros? Is that who you're
The Toreros. The Toreros.
Toreros. Really? Is it Toreros?
Well, Oreos.
Torariolas? What? What did you say?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So look, this is the time. Like I said, just enjoy this time of year. Spring training, March Madness, NBA playoffs tend to turn some focus with that. You got the NFL Combine and the draft coming up. Spring is breaking. Hockey is actually back together and playing games. Look, for sports fans and sports nuts alike, this is the time of year where there is hope, Alan. That's actually appropriate. Keep hope alive.
Right on.
There you go.
Thank you, DP. Have a great weekend. And
all right, guys.
Take care of your mouth.
Yeah.
Now you finally do have a pretty mouth, boy.
Just leave me alone.
See ya.
Mick and Allen, KBR 101.